You can simply replace that with a point of nothingness.
No. What does the word conscience mean to you? How are you using it?
Conscience is the thing that allows things to exist. It's whatever it was that produced the energy that causes all matter to exist.
Sure.
Okay, that's a novel definition.
Yeah, you're just kind of misusing terms in a really circular way. You're trying to solve a mystery with a mystery, and that doesn't ever work. And so when the terms are ill-defined or misused, and when you have no evidence for it, then all I can say is, it's indistinguishable from any other neat science fiction, except that I don't particularly think that your idea, no offense, is as good as some science fiction I've read. Because, not only is there no compelling reason to think that rocks are conscious or that everything is conscious, there's good reason to think that they're not. So yeah, you've got a lot of work to do before you get to the point where anybody, including you, should be accepting this as anything other than a, hey, wouldn't it be neat if? And these types of things are common. I mean, you go watch, what was it, Animal House, where after they smoked a bunch of weed, they talked about, what if our universe is just one,
Yeah.
And other things, those types of things, the neat ideas happen all the time. And sure, I encourage neat ideas and investigation and exploration all you want, but just try to keep in mind that the time to believe something is after there's actually evidence for it, and not just because it's a novel idea that you came up with. But I appreciate the call.
Yeah, precisely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that it is just a theory.
Well,
it's not even a theory.
If I ever do prove this theory,
It's not even a theory.
It's not a theory. I mean, in the colloquial sense, I guess you could have used the term that way, but we're reluctant to do that because a theory is the graduation point in science. It's the highest thing that an idea can aspire to be, if an idea can aspire. But it is, a theory is a hypothesis that has been tested, that has gone through peer review, that has been reproved, that has been falsified or attempted falsification, things like that. So I'm reluctant to let people get away with using the word theory to describe anything that that falls short of that. And what you're talking about isn't a theory. It's barely a hypothesis. It's more like a neat idea. And you need to graduate up those steps before this thing is plausible. But
I plan to do that. I'm
Well,
only 21. I'm stuck in the Navy for the next 3 years, and then I'll be studying physics and every dang thing I can,
first of all, I'd recommend you go watch a video from Lawrence Krauss called Universe from Nothing. I think it'd be right up your alley and could start you on a path towards kind of educating yourself on the subjects that you're going to need to investigate. So best of luck with that, Clayton. I appreciate the call. Bye-bye.
all right.
Wow, that one's in a different color. Let's take it. Daniel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for calling back. You called after the show to talk about something.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to go ahead and call back in. So tell us what you got going on.
Well, I wanted to tell you guys about a site that I run. It's called talkatheist.org. And it's similar to a service provided by the Mormon Church, where you submit your name and a question, and you get to talk one-on-one, or in the case with the Mormon Church, two-on-one with a Mormon. But my website does the same thing, except for instead of talking with a Mormon, you're in fact talking with an atheist.
Okay.
Interesting.
How do you go about settling the issue of that pretty much atheism is just one thing, and whatever any atheist believes outside of the question of the existence of God is up to the individual? I mean, it's not like we have any authority or governing body or dogma. I mean, are we rubber stamping atheists to be on the talk line, or is this just more some kind of informal counseling or something?
Yes, actually, in fact, we get that a lot. And if you look at the website, there's a disclaimer on the front page that says, just because someone in the chat says one thing doesn't mean that all atheists believe that. You're just talking to one atheist, where in fact other atheists could in fact believe other things. It says that the beliefs of the person that you're talking to is not necessarily the beliefs of TalkAtheist.org or of atheists in general.
Okay. How much, I mean, are people already making use of this, or are you just getting it off the ground now?
Oh, actually the site is about 3 weeks old, I believe, and we've already received coverage from people like Nota from friendlyatheist.com, and other people have expressed interest, including Robin Weicker from Explosum, who's advertised our site. So we're definitely hanging off.
Great. Well, let it go for a little while, and feel free to call back in, let us know how it's going, and what sort of response you're getting, and whether or not you receive feedback from people that have benefited from it and stuff like that. And I'll try to get a link up on Facebook or something.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
By the way, if you do go to TalkAtheist.org, you will not be talking to me, and that's not because I have anything against it. It's because I just have way too much to do. So don't think that just because I'm encouraging people to give this a try that you're going to get to talk to me. John in Helsinki, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm an American. I live in Helsinki. I've lived here for 15 years. I'm an atheist. I've been an atheist all my life. But my adjusting hasn't been the religious kind. It's been the sort of political kind. Well, I don't know if it's political. It's just adjusting to life in Europe. So my wife is Finnish. Yeah, I just wanted to so I hang out at atheist sites here in Europe. So like Richard Dawkins, I guess you know him, right? And Christopher Hitchens is quite popular here as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I found your site on with a referral from Richard Dawkins' site. I guess he just noticed you last week, and he's interested in contacting you.
Yes,
If he hasn't, you ought to give him a buzz.
We've already had correspondence with
Yeah, we got an email from him and have replied, but I got nothing to add on it yet. We'll exchange a couple more emails.
Oh, okay. Well,
But thanks for letting us know. I appreciate it.
And so I do have one question, I guess. So regarding Christopher Hitchens, who I like a lot, he has this thing about. He has a great quote. He says Nietzsche said, God is dead, and Freud said God is dad. I guess that his theory being that God is this absurd sort of. It's not just that it's not true, but it fulfills a political role in society. It's like a tyrant, basically, and people who are part of the flock, right, are slaves. And he considers that immoral, which I wonder what your opinion is. Is it immoral to be subservient to a dictator, I guess? And is there any situation where it's not immoral? Like, for example, if you have a dog, right? Is it immoral to have a dog, to be the master of a dog? You know what I mean?
Well, I think we're definitely crossing lines there when we talk about humans versus dogs. Generally speaking, I'm happy to agree with him. I can think of situations where it might be morally correct to revere, admire. I can definitely think of. I have no problem with people revering others or admiring others, or being someone who has found someone who is wiser and smarter, whatever, and wants to rely on their guidance type thing. The very notion of worship I find repugnant, and the idea that there is some God being, any God being who would be deserving of anything like worship wouldn't want it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I guess the point I'm questioning is it clear that it is an immoral thing? Like, if it's immoral to, and I guess I don't really understand the distinction between dogs. Dogs are very human.
No, they're not.
Why would it?
I have 2 dogs, okay, and they're not humans. okay?
I know they're not biologically human, but there are a lot of similarities. I mean, we're just primates, right? We're monkeys.
Yes, we are, and yes, we share some similarities with animals, especially animals that we keep as pets, for example. But as far as whether my dogs regard me as their god, I don't think they do. And I have certainly not set myself up as, the god of my dogs. I have set myself up as their pack leader, which dogs do. And so all I've done is I've taken a little bit of dog psychology and I've used it to help my dogs understand how they fit in with our household. That makes the dogs happier.
Yeah. So he's being a pack leader in the world.
No. It's a normal thing for the dogs. Dogs are comfortable with their human as a pack leader.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. I agree with you. Yeah, okay, so you answered my question. Hey, can I follow up with one quick other question? I just wanted to ask, what do you think of the stuff going on in the Middle East right now?
I think it's way outside the scope of what we're dealing with on the show, and with the show being shorter, I definitely don't want to start digging into that subject.
Okay.
I do appreciate the call, John. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Wow. Oh, as a reminder, after the show's over, we're going to be going to dinner, something I didn't announce beforehand, at El Arroyo at 1624 West 5th Street, near the intersection of 5th and Campbell, just on the east side of Mopac. And hey, we can actually see the number up there better, so I'm not going to have to re-announce the number. We'll go with, oh, I think we just lost somebody, but I'll try it. Is this John in Richmond?
Hello, this is John in Richmond.
Hey, John, how are you?
Doing great. I just discovered you guys and watched a couple times online here. Really enjoy your show. And what I wanted to speak specifically about is the concept of belief and how even we atheists still sometimes try to think in terms of what we believe. And belief is all about deciding what you want the truth to be.
That's not, John, that's not the definition of belief that I would use in any context. Belief
Dictionary defines belief as something that you accept without evidence.
No, it doesn't.
Well, in any case, even if the dictionary did that, that's not what I'm talking about. Belief is simply accepting a proposition. Yeah, you can accept you can believe something for good reasons or bad reasons, and you can believe something to different degrees of certainty. You can be absolutely certain about very, 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 very few things, and that's a separate discussion. But you can be very strongly believe something based on good evidence or bad evidence. You can kind of believe something based on good evidence and bad evidence. Belief isn't just accepting something without good evidence. That's faith, that's gullibility.
My point would simply be that we all ought to try to understand that we would use words such as convince that, or after looking at the evidence, it seems to me, or et cetera, but belief, even if you're saying I believe in supply-side economics, or whatever it is that you believe in.
Well, there's a difference between believe in and believe that. And I don't see any reason to cripple the vocabulary.